Welcome to this class. It's great having you. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position, Sukhasana. And place your hands facing upwards, palms upwards. We're starting to breathe. Just take one deep inhale and feel how your stomach expands as you inhale and as you exhale. Your stomach moves inward. Breathe in. Your stomach expands. Breathe out. It goes inward. And now I invite you to follow the breath all the way up through your ribs and all up into your chest, so you can sort of feel how it expands. Your ribs expand, your chest expand, and your shoulders lift a little bit as your diaphragm fills with air. So breathe in. You feel your stomach expand and your chest expand. You can try to hold your ribs also. You breathe in. Your ribs expand. And breathe out. One more time. Place your right hand on your stomach and your left hand on your chest. Breathe in. And breathe out. Your stomach expands, your ribs expand, and your chest expand as you inhale. And breathe out. One last inhale and exhale. Now place your hands back on your knees with your palms facing up. I would like to invite you to set an intention for this class. You can set your own intention, or you can be joining my contemplation for the intention for this class. Oftentimes in life, things seem chaotic. It's hard to know what to do, how to prioritize. And I invite you to, through this class, see if you can tap into your higher self and your intuition to get the answers that you need. You can trust your inner wisdom. So in yoga, we come closer to that wisdom. It's a sort of a moving consciousness, so we're stopping the racing thoughts and we get better connected to our bodies, in my experience. Breathe in, raise your arms above your head, and breathe out, lower your hands in front of your heart center in an Anjali Mudra. We will inhale into to do our Namaste before we start the class. So breathe in. We are going to do the sound of the universe, was what I was planning to say, the So breathe in. Namaste. I see the light within you that is also within myself. We're starting with some joint warm-ups. So I invite you to place your hands on your shoulders. Keep your arms parallel to the floor or to the mat. Breathe in as you move your arms forward. And breathe out backwards. Breathe in when you roll your arms forward. Breathe out backwards. Breathe in forward. Breathe out backwards. In forward. Breathe out backwards. And now you can 2 more times. That's 2 more times. Breathe in forward. And breathe out backwards. And then just loosen up. Just roll a little bit every other arm. Come back to center. Breathe in backwards. Breathe out forward. 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 One last time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now we're moving into the child's pose. If this was not a digital class, I would ask you to clearly give me a sign if you do not want me to assist you. Listen. Okay, wait a minute. Actually. Yes. Yes, so the child's pose can be done in several ways. Begin and lower down to your feet. So your sit bones touch your heels. There are several ways you can do the child's pose. You can have your knees come to the end of the mat like this. You can hold your hands in a cupcake position or flat to the ground. Whatever feels comfortable for you. The child's pose is a nice way of both do a stretching and just take a break. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in one last time. And breathe out. Place your knees together and come back up into thunderbolt position. You can tuck your toes beneath you. Breathe in, arms above your head. Breathe out, arms down. Breathe in, arms above your head. Breathe out, arms down. Breathe in, one last time, arms above your head. And breathe out, arms down. Breathe in and come back into a tabletop position for some wrist warm-ups. Breathe in as you move in front of your hands in a counterclock position. Breathe out behind your hands. Breathe in front of your hands, and breathe out behind your hands. Breathe in front of your hands. Breathe out behind your hands. And now we go in the clockwise position. Breathe in as you go in front of the hands and breathe out behind the hands. Breathe in front of the hands and breathe out behind. Breathe in front of the hands and breathe out behind the hands. One last time. Breathe in front of the hands And breathe out behind the hands. Come back to tabletop, and now you can place your wrists so they face each other. Breathe in to the right side and breathe out to the left side. Breathe in to the right side. Breathe out to the left side. Breathe in to the right side. Breathe out to the left side. Now you can place your fingers so they face your knees and the eyes of your elbows face forward. Breathe in and breathe out as you lower down, lower your sit bones towards your heels. Breathe in, come back up. And breathe out, sit down. Breathe in, come back up. And breathe out, come down. Come back to tabletop for some kneeling lunge warm-ups. We breathe in to cow and out to cat. Breathe in to cow and out to cat. Breathe in to cow and out to cat. 2 more times. Be sure that your bones are stacked, that your wrists are stacked upon your shoulders and your knees are stacked on top of your hips, so you have a nice alignment. Now we are moving on to the needle. So breathe in, right arm goes up, and breathe out. Thread the needle below your left wrist, your shoulder goes all the way down, and breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in one more last time. Your right arm goes up towards the sky, and breathe out, come down. And the twist goes from your navel, so your hips should remain square. Breathe in, left arm towards the sky, breathe out, can thread the needle below your right arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, left arm goes towards the sky, and breathe out, come down. Now, tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out into down dog. And you can walk a little bit here, paddle, check your alignment, shoulders low. The eyes of your elbow should face forward. You should feel your hasta bandha, your knuckles to the ground, and spread your fingers. Now breathe in as you lift your right leg towards the sky and bring it forward between your hands. Keep your thigh close to your stomach. Breathe in and breathe out into half split. Breathe in and breathe out, melt down. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, come back up and come forward to low lunge. We're moving into lizard pose. So you place your right hand on the inside of your foot and move your right foot to the end of the mat and straighten your left leg. And I would advise to use some blocks here if you're not very flexible. So you can place your arms on the blocks. Breathe in and melt down. Breathe in. And breathe out as you melt down into the pose. And here an option is to place your left knee down and reach for your left foot with your left arm. Open your chest to the sky. Breathe in and breathe out for a nice quad stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. One last time. Breathe in, breathe out, and come back. You can remove the blocks, and you can come back into downward facing dog and paddle a little bit. Breathe in, come to plank, and we go knees, chest, chin. Breathe out, and then breathe in to cobra. And here you should be able to lift your arms. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, and then come back up into downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your left leg up this time. And breathe out, move your left leg to in between your hands, keep it close to your stomach. Breathe in, and breathe out as you go to half split. Breathe out as you fold forward. Breathe in. And breathe out as you melt down. Breathe in one more time. Come back to low lunge. Straighten your leg out. Place your left foot to the end of the mat and your arms on the inside of your foot. Get the blocks if you're not very flexible. Place your arms on the blocks. Breathe in. And melt down into the pose. Breathe in, and breathe out and melt. And on this side also you can do the quad stretch. So if you lower your leg, you can breathe out, breathe in, and lift your right arm and take hold of your foot as you lift your chest to the sky. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in one last time. And come back to remove the blocks and come back to downward facing dog. Paddle a little bit, check your alignment. Your shoulders should be low. You can lift your hips up to the sky and you can bend your knees slightly. Feel your hasta bandha, so your whole of your hands, palms of the hands to the ground, touching the ground. Breathe in, come to plank, and this time we lower into a modified chaturanga. Knees goes first and then a little bit forward. Chaturanga, breathe out and breathe in. Upward facing dog and breathe out back to downward facing dog. Now we walk, step, or float to the top of the mat. So breathe in and come up, arms above our head, And breathe out, lower down. I'm going to turn around so I face you. Breathe in, arms above our head. And now take hold of your left wrist with your right arm. Breathe in. And breathe out for a lateral extension to your right side. You can feel your intercostal muscles on the left side getting a nice lateral stretch. Breathe in. And breathe out and come back. And now you can change so that your left arm holds on to your right wrist. Breathe in. And breathe out to lateral extension on the other side. And feel the nice stretch in your side muscles. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And come back to center. And all the way down. For some sun salutations. Breathe in, arms above your head. Breathe out all the way down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Walk, step or jump to plank and chaturanga. Breathe out. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Walk, step or float to the top of the mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, Uttanasana. Breathe in, arms above your head. Breathe out, arms in front of heart center. Breathe in, arms all the way up. Breathe out, all the way down. Uttanasana. Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Breathe out, come down. Walk, step or jump into chaturanga. That's you can do it a modified chaturanga with your knees down, or you can jump into your chaturanga. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Walk, step or float to the top of the mat. Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Breathe out, Uttanasana. Breathe in, all the way up, arms above your head. Breathe out, arms in front of heart center. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, Uttanasana, all the way down. Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Breathe out, Uttanasana. Step into plank. Now you can do modified chaturanga or full chaturanga. Breathe out. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Walk, step or float to the top of the mat. Breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathe out, Uttanasana. Breathe in, arms above your head, all the way up. Breathe out, bring the hands in front of the heart center. Breathe in, arms up. And breathe out, all the way down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, all the way down. Breathe in, chaturanga. Breathe out, breathe in, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathing out. Breathe in as you walk, step or float to the top of the mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, all the way down, Uttanasana. Breathe in, arms above your head. Breathe out, bring the hands in front of the heart center. Breathe in, arms up, and breathe out all the way down, Uttanasana. Breathe in, halfway lift, and breathe out, walk, step or jump into plank. Now you can do the modified version or the full version. Breathe out into chaturanga. Breathe in into upward facing dog. And breathe out into downward facing dog. Walk, step or jump to the top of the mat. Breathe in. Arms above your head. Breathe out. Arms in front of heart center. Breathe in. Arms above your head. Breathe out all the way down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, walk, step or jump to the top of the mat. And we can do a vinyasa here before we do the standing sequence. So come to plank, breathe out, chaturanga, breathe in, upward facing dog, and breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift the right leg to the sky. Breathe out, place your foot between your hands, keep your thigh close to your stomach. Breathe in and lift into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana. Low shoulders, parallel arms. Your heel should be in a, if you had a pen, it should split your left foot in two. So check the alignment. Knees above your ankles, so have a nice stacking there. Breathe in, straighten your leg. You can have a small micro bend. Reach forward and lower your right arm down and your left arm up. Keep a nice straight alignment into Trikonasana. 3 breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more breaths. One last inhale and come back into Warrior 2. Breathe in into Reverse Warrior. Hold your left hand on your thigh and have a nice, try to lift upwards so you have a nice straight line. And come back to Warrior 2. Straighten your leg. And now point both your toes towards the long end of the mat. Breathe in, lower down, all the way down into wide-legged downward dog again. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and you can interlace your fingers behind your back and straighten them out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One last time, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, come up. And now come back to Warrior 2. Point your toes toward the short end of the mat. Breathe in and lower your right arm and circle your left arm to get a nice diagonal line from your foot to your left hand. And circle back and down into warrior two. I mean the downward dog. Breathe in, lift your left leg towards the sky. Breathe out, place it between your hands. Square your right foot, breathe in to warrior two. If you want to check your alignment with the arms, you can do W and check if your heel is facing the middle of your right foot. Breathe in, straighten your leg, reach forward and come down into Trikonasana. Just mind see whether your arms are nicely aligned. 3 breaths here. Breathe in and come back into warrior two. Breathe out. And breathe in to reclined warrior. And come back. Breathe out. Straighten your leg, point your left toe towards the long end of the mat. Place your hands on your hips. Breathe in. And fold forward all the way down. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now place your right hand on the back side of your hip. We are twisting from our navel, and you can lift your arm up if you prefer. Breathe in and raise your arm towards the sky and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out, and lower your arm. Replace your right arm with your left arm. Breathe in and place your left arm on the back of your hip, and if you prefer you can stretch it towards the sky. Breathe in and have a nice twist from your navel. 2 more breaths here. Breathe in and come down. Breathe in, place your hands on your hips. Breathe in and come slowly, slowly, slowly back up to standing. Breathe in and breathe out as you point your left toe and come back into warrior two. Breathe in, lower your left arm and circle into extended side angle. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and come all the way down to warrior two. You can walk your dog a little bit. And if you like, there's always the option of coming down to child's pose. Maybe do that for a little while before we go into the balancing sequence. You can walk, step or float to the top of your mat for some balancing poses. Breathe in, arms above your head, and breathe out, arms to heart center. So I'm going to face you with the balancing sequences. In the balancing sequences, we have different options. Breathe in and place your weight into your left foot. Breathe in and lift your right foot. And you can stand and balance here. Breathe in and breathe out. And then there's always the option of straightening out your leg, which is not obligatory, but if you want to challenge yourself. And then you can take hold of your toe, your big toe, and be mindful to keep a straight spine. Breathe in and breathe out as you extend your leg. Or if not, you can keep your leg like this. Breathe in and help your leg to the right side like this. And if you chose to extend your leg, you can try to help your leg to the right side. So breathe in and breathe out as you move your leg to the right. And breathe out, come back. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep your leg there, lift it a little bit. And come back down. And just shake a little bit. So we'll do the same on the left side. Breathe in, bend your left leg, hold on to your left leg. Now you can stay here and balance with the bent left leg, or you can, if you want to challenge yourself, you can take hold of your big toe. Breathe in and breathe out as you extend the leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Now, if you have your leg bent, then you can breathe in and help your leg to the left and balance here. Alternatively, if you have your leg straightened out, you can breathe in and breathe out as you help your leg to the left. Breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in one last time and bring the leg to center. Let go, lift it a little bit, and lower down. And shake it out a little bit. So now, breathe in, arms above our head, and breathe out all the way down. Breathe in and step into downward facing dog. Breathe in, lift your right leg towards the sky with the dorsiflexion in your foot and bend it toward your left. Keep your hips squared. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in one last time and come forward with your right leg behind your right wrist. And here you have two options. You can do the swan where you have your heel between your legs like this, or if you want to do pigeon, I would, unless you're very flexible, I would advise you to use blocks. And in that case, you place your right knee behind your right wrist and have your shin parallel to the mat, like this. Breathe in, out, melt down. Breathe in and melt down. more inhales and exhales here. Now place your hands back to the top of the mat. Come back to downward facing dog. Remove your blocks. And paddle a little bit back and forth. Check your alignment. Check. You can bend your knees a little bit. Your hip goes towards the sky. Your Hasta Bandha is firmly grounded into the ground, into the mat. Inhale as you lift the left leg towards the sky. Bend the left leg, keep the hips squared. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in one last time. Come forward with your left leg. And now this time you have the option of the swan pose. You have your heel in between your legs. Or you can do the pigeon pose. Then with blocks if you're not very flexible, to protect your knee joints. In that case you have your shin parallel to the mat and your right leg straight in a pointer flexion. Breathe in and melt down. We will stay here for 5 breaths. At the last exhale, you can place your hands in the front of the mat. Point your toe and come into downward facing dog. Remove the blocks. Breathe in. And lower down into downward facing. Into child's pose. So you can move into the child's pose of your choice with your feet, your knees together, or spread to the end of the mat with your arms in front, or if you prefer the embryo pose, which I do right now because we've gone through some challenging poses. So we're going to do 5 breaths in child's pose. And while we are in positions that are less challenging, we can try to feel into the the bandhas, the Mula Bandha, for example, the elevator, and try to draw the navel in towards the spine, which is very helpful in all positions in yoga to protect your spine and to have the balance that some poses crave. Now you can go back into Thunderbolt for some seated postures. Come down to your side into the staff pose. Keep a nice and extended spine. Place your hands at the side of your hips. Breathe in, arms above your head. And breathe out, fold forward. And here you can touch your shins or you can reach for your heels. If you need to, you can bend your knees so your stomach touches your thighs. Breathe in. And breathe out and melt down. 5 breaths here. Breathe in and come slowly back to staff pose. Now you can choose whether you want to go into reverse table or inclined plane, or you can do both. We can start by reverse table. So you place your palms of the hand, 2 palms of the hand behind your back, and you place your feet where your knees are. And breathe in, lift your hips, and breathe out. 2 more breaths. If you want to challenge yourself, you can point your toes into inclined plane, or you can keep standing in reverse table. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and lower down. All the way down, back to staff pose. Breathe in and bend your knees. Take hold of the outside of your feet. Have the soles of your feet meet. Keep your back straight. Breathe in and open your feet like they were a book. Keep your back straight. Breathe in and melt down towards your feet. Help yourself down towards your feet. Breathe in. And for each exhale, you can try to melt even more down towards your feet. 3 more breaths here. Breathe in. Come back up. Breathe in. Help your knees together. Breathe out. Breathe in and point your toes. You can sit here and balance a little bit. And you can stay here if you like. But if you want to, you can lift your feet so they're parallel to the mat, and also your arms. Keep your shoulders low. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can stay here, you can stay here. But if you want, you can also try to extend your legs so they're pointed. Be sure that your spine is straight. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out and come down. And now you can take hold of the outside of your feet. And you can play a little bit with keeping your balance and extending the one foot and the other. And then you can try to balance. If you like, you can extend the one foot, both feet into extended side angle. 3 breaths here. And it's okay if you're here. Then you can just play a little bit. Calm down. For the supine part of this flow, you're going to actually lie down. Breathe in, breathe out, and see if you can touch your heels with your fingers. We're going into bridge. Breathe in and breathe out. And now, as you breathe in next time, you lift your hips. So breathe in, lift your hips towards the sky, and you can walk your shoulders towards one another. And fold your hands below your back. 5 breaths here. And keep your hip high. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. 3 more inhales and exhales in this position. And come down. Now we're going to do this one more time. And for those of you that prefer bridge, you can do bridge one more time, 5 breaths. And for those of you that have wheel in their practice, you can do the wheel. So we'll do 5 breaths. For those of you that prefer bridge, you do the same. And for those of you that would like to try wheel, you place your hands with besides your ears. Be sure that your arms are not flaring out. And your fingers are facing in the direction of your feet. You can start by sort of coming to your head and then extending all the way up. So breathe in and lift your hips and come all the way up. 5 breaths. And come all the way up. Now you can place your feet at the end of the mat and have your knees meet in the middle for a counter pose. 3 breaths here. And now breathe in and lift your legs to the sky into the waterfall pose. And here you can use your hands or a pillow to lift your hips a little bit. Flex your feet in the dorsiflexion. Breathe in and breathe out. 4 more breaths. Now bend your knees. Hold on to your shins. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly lower your left knee to the ground while you're holding on to your right knee. Breathe in and breathe out. Now take hold of the outside of your right foot. Breathe in and lift your right foot in the air into half happy baby. 5 breaths here. Come back. Hold on to your right shin. Now breathe in and take hold of your right knee with your left arm and move into recline twist. Move your right arm to the right side. You can place your palm to the ground or upwards. If you're placing your palm to the ground, your upper arm should touch the floor. And for the twisted leg, you can choose yourself if you want to twist it more lower or more higher. So you will have a stretch in different places. So it depends what you prefer. 5 breaths here. Come back up. Hold on to your right shin. Breathe in. And breathe out as you lower your right leg down. And breathe in as you bend your left knee. Breathe in. And take hold of the outside of your left foot and lift into happy baby. 5 breaths in happy baby. Breathe in. Breathe out. At your own pace. 3 more breaths. Calm down and hold on to your left shin. Breathe in and take hold of your left knee with your right arm and hold it towards your right. Stretch your left arm out to the left, look towards your left hand. 5 breaths here. Breathe in. Breathe out. 4 more breaths at your own pace. Breathe in one last time and come back to center. Breathe in, hold on to your shin, breathe in. And breathe out, come all the way down. Now keep lying there. We're going into to do Shavasana. So I would advise you to get some warm socks and a pullover so that you don't get cold. I'm going to time you for 10 minutes Shavasana. So please, this is the most important position of every yoga class, right? So Minnie is doing upward facing dog and downward facing dog every day to keep her spine nice and flexible, right? Isn't that true? Yes. And the rest of the time. So when you've found your blanket, you can lie yourself down into Shavasana with your feet nice and spread and your palms facing upwards, and I will take the time of 10 minutes before we revisit the intention of the class. So now we can relax for 10 minutes. Now you can slowly turn to one side. At your own pace. Place one of the hands to the ground and help yourself up into seated position. Come back to your pillow in seated positions in Sukhasana. To revisit the intention for this class. At the beginning of the class, we were having the intention of connecting with the wiser part of ourselves, the higher selves, our intuition that knows and if we can tap into that wisdom, then we know better what to do. So I invite you to feel your body, if it's more loose and flexible and calm. And see if you can, if there are a few things that do not appear to be as problematic as they were in the beginning of class. And maybe you've reached some clarity. Or at least that you feel calmer and more able to think more clearly. I notice in my body that I'm more calm and grounded, at least. So I invite you to inhale, arms above our head, and exhale, hands in front of the heart center in an Anjali Mudra. We are going to inhale for an Om, sound on the universe and universal consciousness. Breathe in. Namaste. Thank you for coming to this class and giving me the opportunity to teach you my yoga flow or the Kula Basic flow. If there's anything that you have questions about, please approach me after class. If there's anything that you need to talk about, I'm here for you 10 minutes after class. And feel free to come and talk. Thank you.